Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the MKW Community Podcast. My name is Maxi, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Miles.
And together, we are doing a very first episode of this. This is a new podcast where we basically just talk about the community. A lot has happened this last week, and we thought it'd be a good time to start it. So, Miles, can you hit us up with that first topic?
Yeah, that'd be good. So, everyone has heard about everything in the recent days about Victor versus Amy. So if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock or you're just kind of inactive, Victor made this video where he was targeting a Twitch streamer. I think her name was Amy or something like that. And essentially, he was just stop trolling her all race. And he made a video about it. And literally all he did was say, "This is what happens when you hit me race 1." And it's just a compilation of him just stop trolling her at times. And it's from her reaction on her stream. She gets a little upset, obviously. She turns off her camera. I'm not going to get into if it's cringe or not. I mean, reactions are reactions. But Victor put it all together, and then he said, "That's what happens if you hit me race 1." I don't think he meant it to be like a mean-hearted video. I think he was just trying to poke a little fun. I think this is kind of Victor's character. This isn't really anything new.
Right. I don't know if you mentioned it. Her name on Twitch is the Linus3.
The Linus3.
Yeah, I don't know if I think she mostly just does Mario Kart. She's more casual. She doesn't really play like ranked or anything. But yeah, she was just doing an unranked Mogi streaming it. And yeah, Victor did that whole thing, and I don't think it would have been that big of a deal just trolling her for a GP. Like, that wasn't the problem. Like, even though she cried, like, I think it wouldn't have been... I don't think he would have got the punishment he got, but because he uploaded it.
Yeah. I agree with you that this wasn't really a problem until the video was uploaded. I don't think, like, anyone really brought it up from her Twitch stream at all in Lounge Chat until Victor had made the video. Yeah. And I think the video obviously offended people. It's kind of ironically boastful. And it's, like, kind of has that, like, cocky edge that Victor kind of has been exuding, that this isn't really anything new from him. So I think everyone's just request for him to be banned or for something for him to happen. It's just their reaction to being offended by this video he made. And this video didn't really pose any harm. I think that's very important to bring up. He didn't really like encourage more harassment towards the lioness.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think people use this video as an example of just how toxic the community can be. And, his video is just like, it's kind of highlighting how proud he is of what he did, which I think kind of ticked a lot of people off. Just reading the comments, a lot of people are just asking, why do you think this is funny? Or it's not a good look for him, really. So, so did he bring up like the length of the bans he got yet?
I didn't bring them up yet at all, but I think at this rate, he's at 4 weeks or something like that.
Right. So initially, like the day that he posted that video, or like within 24 hours, he got a 1-day ban. And then I think KD saw the ban and he saw the video, and then he upped it to 4 weeks. And then Mr. Bean saw the ban and he saw the video, and then he gave him a permaban, which is kind of like why we're talking about it, because like just for one incident, over this one video, this one like 4-minute video, he gave him a permaban, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the ban was more kind of like posturing from the WeFi mods. I think they just wanted to make an example out of
100%. You wanted to use him as an example.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you take all things into account and you measure the magnitude of everything that's happened, Victor just made a video where he's kind of cocky, he's kind of boasting that he's stopped trolling this Twitch streamer. You can make the assumption that he did it because she was a girl. You could do it because she was just a streamer with some sort of clout in the community, because I think she's in a relationship with Larry, I think.
Yeah.
So you can cut the pie any way you like. It's just what he did is what he did. I don't think he was encouraging any, harassment towards the lioness, but I think what Mr. Bean did, as someone who's as influential as him, and everyone knows who Mr. Bean is, he said outright in the server, this community would be better off without people like you. And I think, this is quite an outlandish comment. I mean, as someone who's an admin who has a huge reputation in the community, whatever you're going to say, a lot of people are going to take very seriously. And I think this adding with the authority that he has to actually give a ban onto Victor, I think honestly Mr. Bean is more in the wrong here. I think really Victor is getting the full blow of this situation. I don't think a ban should have been really warranted. This was happening in a private room. The Lioness didn't have to be there at all. She could have just left. She could have played tier 1. She could have stayed in the server and played something else that she didn't have to play with Victor. She wasn't bounded to this.
Yeah, I highly doubt too that Victor would have targeted her after that. It was just like he did it for one event to be funny, and I think he knew she was streaming. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think his sense of humor might be a little edgy. He likes to poke fun at people more than your average person. So he made the video as a joke, and he has a lot of videos where he talks shit about people. He has a whole diss track on his channel where he just kind of roasts people and clans.
Well,
and all
this is easily the edgiest thing he's put
No, he
out.
hasn't made a person cry on his channel before. So this is a new low, you could say.
So this is obviously going to garner the most reception. Maybe that's his goal. Maybe he wanted a video to get a lot of attention. I can see that as a possibility. But I think all in all, what he did, all you have to think about is, did it warrant a Wimside ban? And that was done in the behavior and kind of this outburst that Mr. Bean had. Is this really how we should be treating the situation? I don't think it is. I think this should be treated by lounge staff. I mean, this happened in their server. I think it's up to their, and honestly, we'll get to leaderships of Weemfi and MK Boards later in the podcast, but you can see that the leadership in lounge is much more productive, and I think we should really be leaving it up to them rather than having Weemfi staff get involved with banning Victor.
An update on the whole Victor thing is that Mr. Bean was contacted by Victor. They got in touch, they worked it out, and then Bean reduced it back to a 4-week ban, which it was before Bean went and changed it the first time. So, I mean, a month ban for trolling someone in an unranked Mogi is obviously harsh, for sure. I think it was the video more than anything. I don't know if the video is still up now that I mention it, because after last night he might have deleted it.
It's his channel, Supreme Prince Victor or something.
Supreme Prince Victor, yeah.
Oh, I think it's down. I think it's down, yeah. No, it's not.
So he did take the video down. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to improve toxicity in the community. I think people are just kind of assholes in this community. Yeah. A lot of them are.
I don't know. I think this is a good... we should segue into the next topic at hand. So I'll bring it up here again. So the next topic we're going to talk about is MK Boards versus Gamped. Actually, honestly, this isn't really so much about, Gamped. Actually, really isn't really about Gamped at all, as it is about MK Board's staff issues.
Right, and the reason it sort of looks like Gamped is because they're the ones that are the most vocal on MK Boards and in Discords, but it is sort of a whole community issue.
Yeah, so this one, I don't think Geragio's thread was as widely received as the whole Victor and Amy situation. You can look up the threads still, they're all there, they're just locked. Geragio made a thread concerning that a lot of threads discussing issues with staff and staff decisions on MK Boards and in the general community were being locked at a very high rate. And ironically, he brought this up. He brought this up in a very neutral way. I mean, there was no harassment. He was just bringing up points kind of objectively. And I think he got 1 or 2 replies. Nothing really was concrete discussion. And then Katie just outright locked the thread saying, this kind of stuff isn't allowed. And he showed a picture of the rules, blah, blah, blah. So that's the gist of the situation. Mm-hmm. I think it's important to consider that threads have been being locked left and right. There hasn't really been a significant open discussion about the community on the forums in I would say months, honestly. I haven't seen something like that the whole community has been engaging in probably since the whole Dalen situation, Stunky, everyone like that.
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. I mean, you can partially say that the reason why the MK boards hasn't been very active is just because the community itself hasn't been very active. But
Yeah,
also, I think people just are kind of sick of MK boards because of issues
yeah,
like this, where threads just get locked for no reason.
yeah. Well, I'd actually make the argument that the community hasn't really become more inactive at all. I just think we've shifted from playing scrimmages that are really practicing that are practices for leagues.
Hmm.
I think everyone has just shifted from that to going to lounge
Yeah.
because lounge is just objectively so much more efficient and better moderated.
Hmm.
And so we'll go into that now. So I think MK board staff, to put it into one sentence, I think they're just really out of touch with the community.
I'd agree.
So Gerasios read brought up what we're saying now. That I don't think this is really outlandish. I think this is just bringing up an objective problem that's happening with the MK board site. And this was grounds for locking the thread for KD. So I'm sure we can put the rule screenshot that he posted on the screen.
Yep.
It's things to remember before or while reading the rules, and he highlighted the first three as reasons as to why the thread was blocked. First of all, let's just go through these rules because these rules are really kind of like weird and strange. So, the first one's just saying the MK board staff uphold the right to use this rule set as a guideline. That's what rules are. I don't think you need to really say that. And as well as handle cases within their own discretion. This pretty much means they can handle things the way they want. I think this kind of implies that they don't have to adhere to the rules at all. So,
Right. I think the problem is that like KD and maybe some of the other moderators too, but I've seen it mostly with KD where he just kind of uses it where if there's an argument going on that's a little off topic and he doesn't really want to talk about it, then he just locks it.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's how it should be. I think if people want to talk about something, it is a forum. Like that's kind of what forums are for.
I think you're 100% right, honestly, because if you look at the rules and you look at them closely, actually read the rules that he highlighted, none of the rules hold any justification as to locking a thread like this. It says concerns regarding a staff decision should be relayed to the appropriate staff managers or administrators. I'm sure it has been. Making a public thread will not aid your case. There is nothing in that rule that says it is prohibited to make a thread about that case. This is just locking based on the decision of the admin. In addition to the above, hostility and forcefulness in any shape or form towards a staff group will not aid your case and may warrant a warning or infraction. This is the only thing that could remotely really lock this thread. The thing is, of course, Gerasios has a background of being really edgy and provoking staff and just the general community. But in this thread, he's objective, he's neutral, he's not harassing or targeting anyone. So there's no grounds for this rule to be a means of a justification to lock the thread. I think Katie is just kind of choosing to lock the thread because he doesn't want to bring up any conversation about the community. And I think that's kind of an important thing to consider. Why isn't he wanting people to discuss issues about the community?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This kind of leads me to another point about Katie kind of just has his hands in everything in the community. Like, he's one of the most prominent MK board administrators. So he's on there, and he's also in WL and EL staff. And he's also
I think he's a Weemfi
moderator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he pretty much has, like, full control of this game.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways in this community. And I just feel like there could be more, like, separation of powers, I would say.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you wanted to add to this whole idea, or?
No, I think we brushed upon everything really well. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast. I hope you guys liked our first episode. Please let us know your thoughts on what we talked about. Give us feedback on what you thought of the podcast, what we could improve, what you liked, what you disliked.
Yeah, the feedback would be really helpful. We're very new to this, so
yeah, so
just something we wanted to do.
Yeah, so thank you guys very much. We hope to see you in the next episode.
Bye.
All right, bye. See you.